County Commissioner and Secretary Agencies, Muranga, Chief Officers, members of the County Assembly Service Board, members of the County Public Service Board, members of the Assembly Audit Committee, members of the Fourth Estate, Moderator PCA Muranga, Dr. Nicholas Meriti, then Muranga Business Community, bank managers from diverse banks. Your Excellency, Honorable Members, Article 185 of the Constitution anchors the legislative authority of the County Assembly, which is pivotal to ensuring effective performance of the county government function and enhancement of oversight. In pursuit of that mandate, it is incumbent upon the both legislatures to put in place measures within their planning framework to ensure that the legislative mandate is effectively and efficiently realized. This move has the impetus of bringing hope to the aspiration the residents of Muranga County, particularly growing population of Generation Z. Your Excellency, Honorable Members, it is worthy to notice that Article 174 of the Constitution embedded one of the principles of devolution as the promotion of social and economic development and the provision of proximate, easily accessible services within Kenya. The provision of the same services can only be made possible through implementation of processes that ensure real-time solutions that are premised on the latest technology and which are user-friendly. Your Excellency, Honorable Members, Section 105, 1C of the County Government Act 2012 provides that a county planning unit shall be responsible for ensuring linkages between county plans and the national planning framework. To this end, the better, that is BETA agenda of the current regime enshrines digital transformation as one of the drivers of the economy. A pillar that His Excellency Governor Kanga'ta anchors in his manifesto and which centers around automation of key programs such as revenue collection, human resource management, citizen engagement, just to mention but a few. We as the Assembly share the Governor's vision, which has resulted into a deliberate decision to implement an e-parliament system convened so as to improve efficiency in the legislative mandate of the House. Your Excellency, members, it should not be lost that alongside the Parliament system, we have also implemented a business process management system dubbed Tendekeza. That synchronizes committee operations, approval processes, and the finance office, which has gone a long way in improving accountability, ensuring seamless workflow, and effectiveness in the county assembly operations. Your Excellency, Honorable Members, if I may give a snapshot of the system you will launch today. Tendekeza allows online requests and approvals of assembly services, which will enhance the efficiency and table tracking of tasks across all departments. The e-parliament system entails sophisticated features that will allow our legislative officers to schedule sittings, prepare order papers, upload documents for debate, and publish them for members to seamlessly access at their convenience. The system will further be very instrumental during a roll call voting, since it will give real-time results of voting by respective members as they vote. It will also safeguard the integrity of our legislative work. Your Excellency, Honorable Members, more details of the functioning of the system will be demonstrated by our officers after this sitting. We are unequivocal that this is just an initial step towards digitalizing the Assembly. Moving forward, committee services will go digital, as well as other critical activities where we expect to realize huge payoffs in terms of cost saving. The system will allow members of this House to access all reports and assembly business on time and allow their scrutiny with ease before sitting at the Assembly, which will inform debate of various issues for consideration before the House. Hence, a better legislature and empowered legislators. This, therefore, is an assurance that the residents of Muranga stand to benefit real-time solutions on legislative business and better services to Wanjiku. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, honorable members. Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, paper. Report of nomination of members to county assembly committees and nomination of members to the Central Committee on Gender and Social Services. The chairperson, committee on selection.
Honorable Speaker, my name is Francis Kibe, the leader of majority and the chairman, committee on selection, and I beg to lay the following paper that the report of the committee on selection on review of nomination of members to county assembly committees and nomination of members to the sectoral committee on gender and social services be laid on the table of the assembly today, Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Kibe. Next order.
Order number 6, papers. Report on Muranga Municipality Fourth Quarter Report and Statement of Expenditure for financial year 2024-2025. The chairperson of Finance and Economic Planning.
You will have to come to the bench.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Joyce Bogo, member of Finance Committee. Honorable Speaker, I beg to read the following paper that Muranga Municipality Board Quarter Report and Statement of Expenditure for financial year 2024-2025 be laid on the table of the assembly today, Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next order.
Number 7, papers. Report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee on the report on the first half budget implementation review for financial year 2024-2025. The chairperson of Budget and Appropriations Committee.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, my name is and I represent the good people of Muranga Township Board in this assembly. And I'm also the chairperson of Budget and Appropriation Committee. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper that the report of Budget and Appropriation Committee on the report of the first half budget implementation review for the financial year 2024-2025 be laid on the table of the Assembly today, August 5, 2025. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Mashigo. Next order.
Number 8, reverse. Report of the Youth and Cultural Committee on the Muranga County Youth Service Progress Report. The chairperson, Youth and Cultural Committee.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Irungu. I'm a member of this great and vibrant Stand Assembly of Muranga County, and I'm also the chairperson of the Youth and Sports Committee. And Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper that the report of the Central Committee on Youth, Culture, Gender and Social Services Committee on Muranga Service Progress be laid on the table of the Assembly today, August 5, 2025. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Shale. Next order.
Order number 9, notice of motion, adoption of a report on review of nomination of members to the County Assembly committees and nomination of members to the Sector Committee on Gender and Social Services. The chairperson, Committee on Selection.
Honorable Speaker, my name is Francis Francis Kibe, and I beg to give the following notice of motion that this Assembly adopts the report of the Committee on Selection on review of nomination of members to the County Assembly committees and the nomination of members to the Sectoral Committee on Gender and Social Services laid on the table of the Assembly today, August 20, 2025. Thank you.
Next order.
Order number 10. Notice of motion, adoption of a report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee on the report on the first half budget implementation review for financial year 2024-2025, the Chairperson Budget and Appropriations Committee.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Irungu Kanga'ta, the Chairperson Budget and Appropriation Committee. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move to give notice of the following motion that this Assembly adopt the report of Budget and Appropriation Committee on the report of the first half budget implementation review for the financial year 2024-2025 laid on the table of the Assembly today, August 5, 2025. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 11, notice of motion, adoption of a report of the Youth and Culture Committee on Muranga County Youth Service Progress Report, the Chairperson Youth and Culture Committee.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. My name is Irungu, and I'm the Chairperson of the Youth and Sports Committee. And Honorable Speaker, I beg to give the notice of the following motion that this Assembly adopts the report on the Sectoral Committee on Youth and Culture on Muranga County Youth Service Progress Report laid on the table of the Assembly today, August 5, 2025. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 12, statement. A response to statement on revenue barriers by the Chairperson Finance and Economic Planning Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Irungu, Member of County Assembly for the Kanga'ta Ward, also the Chair of Finance and Economic Planning. And Mr. Speaker, I beg that you allow me to respond to a statement that was issued in this House, and it emanated from the member of the County Assembly for Kangari, Mr. Mirara. And Mr. Speaker, from the onset, I'd like to thank the Finance and Economic Planning CCM, Professor Kerry, the Chief Officer in charge of Revenue, and the Director for timely response to the statement sought by the Honorable Mirara. Members of the committee for meticulous perusal on the responses by the CCM Finance. It is my present duty now, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Central Committee on Finance and Economic Planning, to present this response to the request for statement by the Honorable Moses Mirara, MCA Kangari Ward, on the revenue budgets. Mr. Speaker, the Standing Orders number 46-2C provides that a member requests for a statement from the committee chairperson relating to matters under the mandate of the committee, and the Speaker may either appoint a day of a statement or direct a statement to be issued on the same day. Subsequently, in Assembly plenary sitting held on Tuesday, July 1st, 2025, pursuant to Standing Order 46-2C, Honorable Moses Mirara, MC Kangari Ward, sought a statement from the Chairperson Finance and Economic Planning on the revenue barriers in the county. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Order number 46-2C, I hereby request for a statement from the Chairperson from the Finance and Economic Planning Committee on the following. That is the request from the Honorable Mirara. can the chairperson submit a comprehensive report on the number of intercepted legal revenue barriers in the county, including their location? Can the chairperson take a report on how much revenue the county collected through erection of such barriers from July 2024 to May 2025? Number 3, what type of goods or produce is targeted through erection of such revenue barriers? Number 4, is the chairperson aware that the county revenue and enforcement officers also erect illegal revenue barriers, especially around the newly tarmacked Del Monte BAT bypass road? Number 5, is the chairperson further aware that on June 3, 2025 at 6 p.m. to around 9 p.m., an intercepted revenue barrier was erected along the above road where the drivers were being forced to drive their way out instead of being officially fined or paying through the electronic payment system? Number 6, further, can the chairperson table a comprehensive report on how much revenue was collected on that specific barrier on the above date? Question 7, how can members of the public distinguish between genuine and illegal barriers erected for revenue collection within the county? And finally, number 8, can the chairperson inform the assembly what measures the county is taking to address the above malpractices by county revenue and enforcement officers? These are the responses, Honorable Speaker. The Honorable Speaker guided a response to the statement issued on within 14 calendar days. The committee sat on July 2nd, 2025 and resolved to write to the CECM Finance via letter on responses to the request to the statement. The said CCM wrote back to the committee on July 21st, 2025, detailing its responses on the revenue barriers. There was a follow-up sitting by the committee on July 24th, 2025 to consider the efficacy and the responses. Response number 1. That the county government does not have permanent revenue barriers manned by staff like it happens in other counties. The current practice is that the revenue staff and enforcement undertake occasional inspections during daytime and sometimes at night. The revenue barriers are stationed in areas producing accessible products, e.g. Kiharu, Maragua, and Iganga sub-counties. Response number 2. That from July 1st, 2024 to May 30th, 2025, the revenue collected from the interception point was Kenya shillings 2,821,480. Response number 3. The type of goods targeted by the mobile revenue supervisors and enforcement include all accessible products, agricultural products, timber, lath, and mining products, including sand, quarry, usable sand, ballast, and marble. Response number 4. That the Directorate of Revenue does not erect illegal barriers as alleged on the Del Monte BAT bypass road. However, the enforcement officers routinely enforce payment by defaulters who bid time until the revenue staff go home after the lapse of their working hours and make way in and out of Salvation Army quarry to evade making payments. And I must insist that there is a stark difference between revenue points and enforcement points. Revenue points is where you have the interaction with our revenue officers. Enforcement comes handy when you have defaulted, when you have refused to pay at the revenue points. And the county government of Muranga has made an arduous task of providing the citizens of Muranga and all people who do business with the county of Muranga on how to pay tariffs or taxes in these counties. So if you don't pay at the point of interaction, then you will face the revenue enforcement officers thereafter. Response number 6. In the same date and hours between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m., that revenue point had corrected 24,200 shillings. So, Mr. Mirara, Honorable Mirara, I think you can appreciate the duty of enforcement officers. Because were it not for them, we would not have collected this money, and these people would have evaded paying taxes to the county of Muranga. I'm too fast for myself. So there is a response number 5. In paying bribes, both the government officer and the paying party are guilty. Traders in Muranga know well that they should strictly make payment via the USSD code. Should a staff solicit for a bribe, the trader is at liberty to report the same to the sub-county administrator for administrative action. And I must insist that since the inception of this government, led by Irungu Kanga'ta, we have seen that there is voluntary, Muranga residents have voluntarily agreed to pay their share of taxes because they can see the fruits or they can see the works that their taxes goes into in various projects, the flagship projects by the governor, and also the community projects that are integral in the development of our county. And I can say for sure that when we assumed office, we had collected 582,000 the year 2023-2024. But since the inception of this government, we have seen remarkable improvement in the collection of our taxes. The first year we did 1.1 billion. This year we did 1.3 billion. And all thanks to the people of Muranga for recognizing that services are commensurate with the taxes paid. Response number 7, that the Revenue Directorate is not aware of illegal barriers mounted by the enforcement. In a case, a taxpayer trader is under the impression that revenue staff is soliciting a bribe, they should immediately alert the sub-county administrator or any other senior officials or the area member of county assembly to allow that member of county assembly to conduct their work of oversight, because this space is not, we don't operate in vacuum. We all operate together, sequenced and geared to the provision of better services to the people of Muranga, and you must agree that payment of taxes is cardinal to the improvement of a society. Response number 8, any malpractice reported against revenue staff to the top management is taken seriously and disciplinary action is taken. And I am a witness, and I'm not vouching for the department, that there has been several disciplinary actions taken to members of the revenue officers who have been deemed or where there has been evidence that they have corrected bribes. And I must say that the biggest fight we have, not only in our county but also in our country, is to ensure that we free this country from the yokes of corruption, because corruption is the biggest, and I must say that you will all agree with me, is the biggest deterrent to economic development. Those are the responses from the Committee on Finance and Economic Planning, and I hope the Honorable Member for Kangari is also the Chair of ICT will be contented with the responses from my committee. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Governor, you raised these issues. Are you satisfied with the response?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I am Honorable Muranga and I represent the good people of Kanga'ta. Honorable Speaker, I want to congratulate the Honorable Chair of Finance, Honorable Fire, for taking up the matter. But want to call his race process as inadequate. Because, Honorable Speaker, one of the reasons as to why I raised the matter is actually identifying the gaps that were available. And actually, my intention was to remedy those gaps. Because, Honorable Speaker, that time that India, the value was elected, I called the honorable member for me to be. Because when I was passing by, I saw an elected barrier and I thought that it was illegal. But when I reached there and I queried, they actually went and abolished that barrier and removed that barrier. So I want to say that this is a gap that we need to actually fill. Because, Honorable Speaker, what is the harm of maybe the chief officer giving a letter, or reading a letter, such values, such intersecting values during time, or what is the harm, Honorable Speaker, for us to put out a policy to establish a permanent barrier that now will be able to correct the revenue there. Honorable Speaker, those were my thoughts, and I think I sort out the matter with the Honorable Chair.
The matter is on the House, so it will be sorted here. So we want to understand if you are satisfied or not.
I want to say that a little bit satisfied by some of the others. But I have already stated that my intention was to now limit that. And maybe I would ask the Honorable Chair or Finance, why does he feel that we need the public or the members of the public do not pay and that they should be intercepted to pay? This is actually because he has not even harmonized the cess rates with another county. You find that in Muranga maybe a sand road, we pay much more than what the other counties levy. So I think, Honorable Speaker, as we approach, I just want to know what stops even the staffs from maybe thinking that we can get a lot of money and elect or go ahead and elect illegal barriers within themselves, because some of them maybe live in Kabaki there. And they know that if we do not have money now, we can just elect an illegal barrier without the knowledge of the director, without the knowledge of the CEO, and then we solicit for bribes, Honorable Speaker. So I would wish that we have permanent barriers if we need to enact a rule in this house to provide for them. That would be good. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Medalo, from your words is that you are not satisfied, because there is no way you can be half satisfied. So I'm going to give a direction, please be seated, that the Chair of Finance, I think you have listened to what Honorable Medalo is saying. I think it's discussing more of remedial issues. And I will give you another 14 days to come back to this house and address the issue of remedial. That's okay? Good, let's go to the next order.
Order number 13, motion, adoption of a report on consideration of the financial statements of the County Revenue Fund for the period ended March 31st, 2025, the Chairperson Finance and Economic Planning.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, again, John Boogie, the Chairperson Finance and Economic Planning. And Mr. Speaker, I beg to move a motion that this Assembly adopts a report of the Central Committee on Finance and Economic Planning on consideration of financial statements for the County Revenue Fund for the period ended March 31st, 2025, made on the table of the Assembly on July 30th, 2025. Mr. Speaker, I want to acknowledge you and the acting clerk of the County Assembly for the facilitation in the analysis and of the financial statements of the County Revenue Fund. I must also thank members of the Finance and Economic Planning Committee for the meticulous job that they have done in ensuring that they play their role in analyzing and oversight of this financial statement. It is therefore my present duty, Mr. Speaker, to table the report on the consideration of the financial statements for the County Revenue Fund for the period ended 31st March 2025 for debate and adoption. Mr. Speaker, Article 207 of the Constitution provides for the establishment of a county revenue fund for each county government, into which shall be paid all money raised or received on behalf of the county government, except money that is excluded by an act of parliament. May an act of parliament be retained by the county government to be paid into some of the fund established for a specific purpose. Section 109 of the PFM Act provides that there is established for each county a county revenue fund in accordance with Article 207 of the Constitution. This fund is established to hold all revenues collected by the county government, including the equitable share of revenue raised nationally, grants from the development partners, proceeds from domestic and foreign borrowing, taxes, fees, and other receipts. Section 157 of the PFM Act contemplates that the County Executive Committee, member for finance, shall in writing designate a person to be responsible for collecting, receiving, and accounting for such county government revenue, as the County Executive Committee member of finance may specify in letters of designation. An accounting officer and a receiver of revenue are personally responsible for ensuring that adequate safeguards exist and are applied for the prompt correction and proper accounting for all county government revenue and other public monies relating to their county departments or agencies. Mr. Speaker, the withdrawals of funds from the County Revenue Fund are authorized by the County Appropriation Act. County Treasury is required to seek approval from the Controller of Budget before any funds is transferred from the CLF to the operational bank accounts of both the County Executive and the County Assembly. From the state transfers, accounting entities implement and manage cash according to the approved budget. Reporting and accounting for the County Revenue Fund, Mr. Speaker, Section 166 of the PFM Act provides that the accounting officer for the County Treasury is responsible for the preparation and presentation of the County Revenue Fund financial statements, which give true and fair view of state of affairs of the fund for the period ended March 31st, 2025. The financial statements are to be submitted to the Auditor General, Controller of Budget, and the Commissioner on Revenue Allocation. Regulation 41 of the PFM Act provides that an accounting officer shall sign financial statements, thereby making himself or herself responsible for their correctness. The financial statements were authenticated by the accounting officer of the County Treasury or Chief Officer Finance on April 9, 2025, essentially bearing responsibility for the accuracy in presenting the fair financial position of the finances of the county government of Muranga for the reporting period. The approved supplementary budget for the financial year 2024-2025, Mr. Speaker, was 10.74 billion. To finance the budget, the county government anticipated to receive equitable share of revenue raised nationally at 8.2 billion. Additional.
The document should be in everybody's desk. I would want you to summarize it. Don't go word to word.
Okay.
Just do a summary, the document. It is the very side of every
I thought it was essential to give the background, and especially now that His Excellency, our Governor, is here. I thought it was necessary to give the background, and I will summarize Mr. Speaker's advice because I don't intend on mentioning everything that is in the report, because as instructed, the members of the Assembly have their report with them. The revenue performance during the review period, 6.76 billion revenue to the fund development and recurring programs. The total revenue consisted of 4.95 billion from the extra share, additional allocation from the government development partners of 80.13 million, and ordinary own source revenue of 394.2 billion. That is exclusive of the FIA funds. And Mr. Speaker, there is a tabulation there of the resource envelope for the period that ended on March 31st, which totaled 6.7 billion. Mr. Speaker, there is also a tabulation there of the other sources of funds, especially from our development partners, which had a total of 208 million 938 635 for the reporting period. On the table 5.0, we have the comparison between the budget and the actual revenue generated or received as of 31st March 2025. And we see that we had received 6.6 billion against our budget of 10.7 billion, which was an absorption rate of 62%. We also see 6.0 is our revenue performance, the own source revenue performance. The correction was 860.3 million, including FIF, and members must remember that the FIF is spent at source, so it is not swept to the CRF of 351.3 million. Single business permit, you can see the tabulation there of all the revenue streams that we have, and you can see the biggest portion of our own source revenue came from the hospitals, and we must do better to ensure that we up the other revenue streams so that we don't rely on the FIF or hospital funds for to contribute to the biggest chunk of our own source revenue correction. On 8.0, we have the recommendations, Mr. Speaker, that the county revenue committee should consider a memo on employment of land-based professionals. We have an opportunity there, and I know that we are pursuing a bill that in the land department that will enhance the revenues of our county. Number two, that the CCM Finance and the Public Service Board shall evaluate the staffing needs to man the revenue function, review the structure of revenue mobilization directorate, scheme of service, target alignment to the structure, job description, and overall strategy document on vision, mission, so that we can enhance the OSR sensitization on the code of ethics. That the CCM Finance and CCM Public Service to institute regular feedback seminars, workshops with the revenue staff on the price of working conditions. The platform can be utilized to reward the best performing revenue staff, and I know there is such a program instituted by His Excellency the Governor of rewarding the revenue staff, and I hope it will continue so that we can motivate them. That the CCM Finance and CCM Public Finance to institute regular feedback, number 4, in order to promote efficiency, effectiveness, transparency, and accountability in revenue management, County Treasury should allocate 0.5% of the budget to the audit function, which is what the world best practice. In addition, training of revenue accountants on revenue projections in audit would enhance evidence-based budget making process. Mr. Speaker, that is the end of our report, and I must insist as Chair Finance and Economic Planning that we can do better, especially on our outsourced revenue, because we have realized that the elasticity of demand for the services provided by the county is very high. This is because since the inception of this government, there has been a dramatic change in the fortunes of our people on the ground. The governor has some flagship program that have been very well funded and have been received on the ground in a big way, and our people are demanding for more services. We might reach a point of kink, and I know that the governor and this assembly is doing everything possible to ensure that we collect more money, and especially in our industrial park there at Mackenzie, so that we can provide more services and better services to our people. I call now Mr. Mashiko, the Chair Budget, to second the motion.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I'm Charles Mashiko Karina, the Chairperson Budget and Appropriation Committee, and as well as a member of Finance Committee. Honorable Speaker, I want to second the motion and also congratulate the committee for coming up with such a comprehensive report in regards to the financial statement. And I urge members to adopt the same so that we can hand the same report to the implementation committee to see that the CEC Finance act on the recommendation given by this committee. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, members. Now I propose a question that this assembly adopt the report on the Secretarial Committee on Finance and Economic Planning on consideration of financial statements of the County Revenue Fund for the period ended March 31st, the year 2025, laid on the table of the Assembly on July 30th, the year 2025. Honorable members, the floor is open for debate. We will restrict debate for 3 minutes each. Please proceed. The floor is open. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you because you have caught my eyes. I stand up to support the motion as I'm a member of this committee. However, there are some other areas as what our chair will take and through. And I would say that particularly printing out the last page of recommendation. We'll be the consumers of this motion, particularly the whole of the entire Muranga County. And therefore, that I'll give some insights, particularly to put a proposal together, but I just want to emphasize, particularly now to the CCM Finance, we consider the issue of enhancing the issue of practical, revenue collection. By so doing, there are so many parameters we consider. It is by giving, some incentives, like even taking these people to training, Because like today, when I was coming this way, you do a parking lot of you. But some of these parking people, they may not have the uniform. And I happen now as an officer to put that my role also. After that, some of them ask people to pay, but you don't have an apron. That's yellow jacket, whatever. But he told me he doesn't have. So I would suggest that one, maybe the senior finance, to ensure that these revenue correctors, the people who have made the entrusted to do correction, they are well, dressed, they have all the apparatus they require to ensure that you have this upward mobility in terms of revenue correction. And also motivation strategies, when it has been captured here, those are the areas to be considered so that we maintain either status quo or we go higher in our revenue correction. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Mobile respond.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, the Honorable Irabo, for your kind comments. We have taken note of them, and we shall pursue this with the CCM Finance. And I want to thank members and request them to adopt this report so that we can send it to the executive for implementation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Kivaya. I now put the question that this assembly adopt the report on Secretary Committee on Finance and Economic Planning on consideration of financial statements of the County Revenue Fund for the period ended 31st March 2025, laid on the table of the Assembly on July 30th, 2025. And as many as of the similar opinion say aye. Aye. As many as of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 14 bills, and we have no other order, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, there being no other business, this House now stands adjourned until this afternoon at 2:30 p.m. Otherwise, of the Assembly, we shall be back here for a demonstration of the Tendekeza and the Epr.
Governor, Stephen Manania, the Speaker of the Assembly, and speakers from various assemblies, members of the Assembly, and visiting members from various assemblies, and all protocols observed. Good afternoon. Your Excellency, allow me from the onset to acknowledge that this third Assembly of Muranga is quite privileged to host you this morning as a main guest to launch these two very significant platforms, namely the e-Parliament and the Business Process Management System, Tendekeza. Permit me to also appreciate the Honorable Speaker of the Assembly and members of the County Assembly Service Board for having resolved to establish these two very important platforms. This day speaks volume. It most importantly demonstrates the commitment of the Service Board and its desire to offer quality services during its services. Your Excellency, steady steps and unity of purpose have indeed culminated in the third Assembly, attaining remarkable growth in various areas. We gather here today to celebrate one of those achievements, which is automation of this legislature. Your Excellency, as you are aware, Article 10 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 identifies transparency as a core value that must be upheld by all government entities, especially when enacting laws and making public policy decisions. In our country, county assemblies are established as legislative branch of county governments, and of course, with a key role in lawmaking, apart from ensuring that the institution significantly reduces paper consumption. The e-Parliament will also lead to increased transparency, and this will foster a great citizen engagement. As I say, Your Excellency, history is very important, and I recall with a lot of nostalgia during the first assembly, immediately upon promulgation of the Constitution and establishment of the devolved governments. Those seconded to the Assembly from the defunct local authorities, especially those placed in the Hansard Department, had very exciting narratives to tell. Because, for example, they were seconded, they did not have tools of trade, they did not have recorders, they did not have food pedals, and they had to take notes through shorthand and record what each member was saying. I think this was very tedious because later on they had to sit and try and transcribe what they had written. So you can imagine how much information was lost during taking the short notes. So later on, the assembly, Your Excellency, the assembly bought the recorders and the foot pedals, and it made the work very, very easy. And we appreciate the growth that we've had, and that's why we are here today to celebrate the launch of automation and digitalization of this plenary, which is a very big milestone. It is clear that space of parliament is changing across the globe, and it is undeniable that we are in a constant state of change. Constant technology is changing. And I envisage a time when many county assemblies will visit this assembly to come and benchmark on especially the e-Parliament. And I appreciate that actually currently we have visitors who have come to benchmark on what we are launching today. Before I conclude, Your Excellency, I wish to, in a special way, appreciate and recognize the members of this assembly who have embraced the change that has come in terms of digitalization, the heads of departments and the ICT officers who have participated in making the e-Parliament and Tendekeza a success, and not forgetting the clerk assistants who have also played a very critical role in implementation of Tendekeza and e-Parliament. With those few remarks, Your Excellency, please allow me to take this opportunity and privilege to invite our officers to make brief presentations on the two systems, We shall begin with a presentation on e-Parliament by Reinhard Bonke, then a presentation on business process management system by Nevi Kimani, and finally a brief demonstration on the e-Parliament by Marion Waidera. Reinhard Bonke, kindly come and have this presentation.
Honorable members of the House, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Reinhard Bonke, Chief Assistant Officer of Muranga County Assembly, and I will be taking you through the e-Parliament system. It will be demonstrated in 2 ways, through the PowerPoint presentation and then an overview of how the system works like. So, before we get started, I'd just like to say that for every technological system, it aims to, 1, solve a problem, a digital problem, a problem, and provide a solution. And 2, it should be easy to use. And 3, when you're using it, it should also ensure that you are safe, your data is safe, and everything is safe, and everything can be, you can trust the system in its integrity. So I'll take you through the journey of the e-Parliament system, how we started the journey until we came up with the e-Parliament system. You can follow the slides from there and also from here. Okay. So the governance challenges we were able to notice there was difficulty accessing meeting materials. Timely access of materials is crucial for informed decision making, and delayed dissemination of these materials can result in an informed decision making discussion and ineffective meetings. So there was a challenge in accessing meeting materials. And also another key challenge that we were able to note was inconsistent communications, because governance relies heavily on consistent communications, relying on multiple platforms like WhatsApp, email, and the physical grids can serve information could get lost in between. So having a centralized system where communication then was also a key thing that we were able to note. Another key problem that we were able to note was lack of a decentralized documentation platform, a digital decentralized documentation system. Without a unified platform for documentation, meeting and notes and actions become scattered, and this inefficiency not only compromises accountability, but also complicates future references and follow-ups. So with those 3 problem statements, we were able to come up with this e-Parliament solution. It's called the convened e-Parliament solution. So with this system, we have a centralized digital working space where all every meeting, everything that is happening within the legislative house is accessible through this system. So for each and every member, there is secure access. This system is specifically designed for the members of the secretariat. Members benefit from secure and role-based access to meetings, agendas, files, votes, and notes. This ensures sensitive information is kept confidential by promoting transparency. With real-time annotation and collaboration, especially when it comes to documentation, let's say there's a report being displayed to the members, they can be able to make notes, highlight a few things that they need to refer to, and these notes will be accessible to them even after the meetings. And then once a meeting is done, these meetings are automatically archived, and including the notes the members made and everything that they noted about that during meeting, and then they can be able to go back to it and see how it went. The system is user-friendly, as I will demonstrate. The e-Parliament puts a clean, intuitive interface designed to decide for each use case, regardless of technical experience. And the system can be accessed. This is type of training, more on doing. And then one of the key things that I was able to highlight was integrity. When you're using a system, especially in a legislative house, there should be integrity of the system to ensure that there is no tampering of the system of documentation. So with that, a few things in this system that have been set place is authorized personnel only, where only members can be able to access the system and the secretariats who are able to upload the documents that are needed. And then there's a clear audit trail. For every vote, for every signature, for every annotation that is made by a member into the system, there is a clear trail and a record of these annotations, which can be referred to at any given point, and they can be, the trail can be audited at any given point. Secure governance. Convene ensures that if every file shared is encrypted to safeguard sensitive information, voting processes, retaining value secrecy while maintaining a traceable records and participation. So with this system, even when there's a document in that system, we try to print it, it comes with a watermark of who is exactly accessing that system. So should the document be, it will be evidence also. The final thoughts on this system, this equal system gets a solid data foundation to serve not just the current community relations to come. At the core, this system, at the core of this system is just processing data, and it's doing so in a very effective way, and ensuring that this data is accessible to all members at the right time, because they get to receive notification of any meetings that come around, and any communication that is made through the platform is able to get to them timely. So with this foundation in data, as we know, data is good, and with this structured data, this can really help promote and build the digital Muranga that we're all looking forward to. So I go to the live demonstration. This is the e-parliament system that we're talking about. And I would like you to refer to the key points that I was able to talk to you about. What problem is it solving? Is it easy to use? How secure is it? So even as we are analyzing this system, I would like you to have those key points in your head. So I'll just give you an overview of what the system looks like. Meetings. Under meetings, the current and the past. Under meetings, you are able to list all the meetings that are ongoing. You can see listed there. Resolutions, if there is something to vote about, it will be listed under the resolution, or something to sign. The current shows the current things that need a member to attend to, and the past shows the things that have passed previously. There is the review room. This also works especially when it comes to signing documents, as you can see. There is the test documents. So if a document needs you to sign, you will get them in the review room. Once you complete it, it will be found there. Actions, should there be an action required, let's say like a vote, and a notification is needed, it will be listed under actions. Document library, this is where all the documents and all the archives of the digital documents will be found, and this can serve like dear Jesus, because all the documents are there available. Announcements, should there be an announcement to be made, it will be shown there. And also this announcement will be able to pop up to the members through their digital devices, and they can be able to see what's going on. Survey, this covers any survey that should be done, especially for quality purposes or things that we should improve. All the surveys will be found there. Yes, that's an overview of the e-parliament system and how it looks like and how it works. My name is Renat Moke, and I hope you really understood it. Thank you.
Thank you, Boke. Neville?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Irungu, ICT officer at the Assembly. I'm going to discuss through the business process management system. We also have the slides up there. The business process management system, also known as the Tendekeza system, it's what we use here at the Assembly for the learning of businesses and the processes that you undertake in the assembly, be it memos, emails. We use the system and have a table of contents and show the system features, the references, the scope, the overview and the benefits of the system. Then we have the administrative and the general features. Then have the functionalities of the system. The system basically is an online request and approval system for all assembly businesses from all departments. It improves on user experiences and efficiencies, and it also has alerts and tasks for every member. If I as a staff of the assembly raise a memo to my HOD, and he or she will be prompted through email and through SMS that I have sent in a task at his inbox or her inbox. Also, there are approvals for all the committees, and we take through as we go on. We also have document tracking and attachments, and also we have the system across all the departments, and also is easily based. I might add that the document tracking system, you all know the bureaucracies of the government and other organs, and you might write down a memo along the way between the registry and the HOD, it gets lost. But now through the assembly, I get to know how long does my HOD have taken time to approve my document, and also how long does it take for one document to take from the initial step to the last step of archiving. You have these following modules that are there. You have the workflow. You also have the user and staff management. You have committee management. You also have the DSAs and the allowances, and also mileage is calculated by the system for all members, and then it is posted to their payslips. We have an example of the dashboard of the staff and user management, where we as the IT and the admins get to input the users of the members. Recently, we also have Honorable Peter Bobo, who is with us. He is already on board in the system. He just gave his details, and we have uploaded him. And then through the system, we have committee management. The system provides for the definition of house committees and various sectors. Honorable Bobo is already onboarded to the various committees that are there. And also for today's assembly, we passed a report of members to be onboarded to the committees. It is fast-tracked with the system. And also we have the business processes. For the workflow processes, we will take an example of maybe a committee is going out to a workshop. These are the various processes that the committee will take place. The clerk assistant will initiate an application of the meeting. We then go to the liaison committee headed by the deputy speaker. He approves the same. We then have the budget officer checks the availability of budget for the assembly and for the committee. He then goes to the clerk's approval and then the speaker's approval. And also for the DSAs, we have people who are entitled to interest and also DSAs and allowances. It is defined locally and even foreign. When you are going to a foreign meeting, you apply for the meeting in the system, you claim the system, the finance processes the payments, and the payments is paid through IFMIS, and the system is able to integrate with IFMIS such that once the schedules and the payment documents are approved, it's taken to IFMIS and internet banking, and it's paid to your account. For the workflow, it promotes on transparencies with real-time notifications, where we have said the heads get notifications of those initializations. It saves on time, and we have online document access, and we also have archiving until Jesus comes. So after you retire, you still get your document is saved. When audit comes, the documents are provided. We provide the system, which is very transparent. So we won't have any audit issues when it comes to the assembly, because we just give them access to the database and then scrutinize our documents in conjunction with the physical documents that we have. There are various benefits of the system. You can scan the QR code and get to the document to the system. It has internal controls and audit trails, which is beneficial to the internal audit committee and the audit department. It follows up with this workflow. We then have workflow. We also have admin features where we set up department, set up emails, alerts, and all those other things that are done by the admins. We have committee management. We have different sectoral committees, select committees, and even board committees. When even ad hoc committees, our governor wants to incorporate the assembly in the investment, and we want to have as a committee, we have them created in the system, and we help in the work of the assembly. We have said about the DSA and the national office. We also have said about the budget office and the control of budget of the assembly. The approved budget of the assembly is closely monitored through the system. And we also have said about the sitting allowances, where it is then given to the payroll system. And I will give a brief demonstration, but I will just show the dashboard. Here is the example of the summary of all committee county assembly documents. It is given here of the number of applications that are there, the number of accreditation members that are there, and then even the meetings. We also have an example. Right now, as we speak, we have an outstanding 14 members that need to be worked upon. The members have raised them. The same, it constitutes the approval stages. The speaker has 5 approvals as of this morning. The speaker has 1. We have an archive of 107 memos, and we have the memo preparations. That's part of the presentation. I can give a demonstration of the same. I'm talking about. Here we have the number of documents. As well, I click here, I can get on the fly the number of members that are there. These are we have done 317. The staff have done 223. We have 14 outstanding numbers. Here we have the number of documents that are there. We can give the public communication and ICT. We have done 203 for the county assembly. We also round down the number of members that are there as of this morning. The number of applications for the claims, we have 14. And on the finance, we have various stages. Depending on the schedule, there are 3. Verifying the schedule, we have 1. And certifying, we have 1. And then for the committee, and you have the archives, you have 986 minutes. Then you have 185. We have the number of members that are there. And also, that's it for the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Melvin. Bonke has given a brief demo. I don't know whether we can have a demo of the order papers, especially the sitting we had this morning, to just see how members will be able to view the order papers. Madam?
Excellency, Mr. Speaker, I would like to demonstrate the back end of the convene app. As you can see, with the back end of the convene app, of the front end, sorry, we have where we have the order paper being made. Okay, the other paper is usually as follows. We have, when the speaker comes in, he has to pray first. That's the prayer. In every other paper, we have to have an administration of oath. Whether it is a member who's been administered oath or not, it has to be said. If there is any, before any other business, the member who has not been administered oath, it has to be administered first. For example, last week when the Honorable Muranga was being administered oath, we had first administer him oath before we continue the order of that. Communication with the chair is whereby is any information being made by the office of the speaker. Messages is whereby is all the messages that come from the office of the governor. Any information made by the office of the governor, it's come to the assembly as a message. Petitions, there are petitions brought by members of the public when they have to make a petition to the assembly to administer any challenges that they have to come to the assembly first. They make a petition to the office of the clerk. It is then presented to the House by the Honorable Speaker. Papers are all reports by the committees. So if any committee has a report after any sitting outside, they make a report. If the report is tabled in the House as a paper first. After the paper have been laid by the committee, with the chairperson of the committee, it comes back to the House as a notice of motion. A notice is given on top of a motion, which then afterwards it comes back as a motion, whereby it is passed by the House. At this stage of the motion, is whereby the honorable members are able to debate on that particular motion. After a motion, we have statements. Before motion, we have statements, whereby if a member have something they want to ask a particular member or a particular chairperson, they have to ask it as a statement. They come and they file a statement, and that statement, they give notice, they say that this issue was raised in my area and I want it addressed by a particular person. Then that particular person or that particular committee goes outside and they sit and they have to discuss what that statement or what that request is. When it has been discussed by that committee, it comes back as a statement. That chairperson of that committee comes and they give a response to that statement. Then after statement, you have motions. As I said earlier, it's whereby that paper laid earlier is discussed by the members. Then after motions, we have bills. We know what bills are. Bills are discussed by this House and passed to be presented by the governor. Thank you.
Thank you, Maureen. I think her computer has refused to cooperate. Those who were following during the sitting in the morning, you could see the documents being projected on the screen. and that is how the documents will appear in the members' machines. Whenever a motion comes, the report being debated will be projected on their screens. You will agree with me that with the automation of this assembly, we will have efficiency and effectiveness in assisting our members to execute their mandate of oversight, legislation, and representation. So, Honorable Speaker, I call now upon the Leader of Majority to take up the program from there. Thank you.
Your Excellency the Governor, the Deputy Governor, Honorable Speakers, members of the County Assembly, and all the invited guests. My name is Kibe Wasari, Leader of Majority, Muranga County Assembly. And I'll start by noting that for 13 years, our Governor, Muranga County Assembly was not in a position to automate the services and the systems here in the Assembly, but under the watch of the ICT Committee, the latest formed committee, and which is headed by Honorable Moses Miraga, we now have the e-Parliament. Honorable, Your Excellency the Governor, under the watch of our Speaker, who was very key in this process, we now have the e-Parliament. And lastly, under your watch, as the Governor who is very key in ensuring that the services and the systems of Muranga County are automated, we now have the e-Parliament in this Assembly. We have seen and we have witnessed what has come with the automation of services in Muranga County. We have seen the revenues increase. We have witnessed the transparency in the Muranga County, and therefore we join you as the Muranga County Assembly in ensuring that transparency, efficiency continues in the Muranga County Assembly. Allow me to welcome the Chair ICT Committee to make his remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Governor, and our Speaker, and all the guests. I am Honorable Moses Miraga. I represent the good people of Kangari, and I'm the Chair ICT in this Assembly. First of all, Honorable Governor, I want to welcome you for this launch, and I want to recognize the efforts that have been made by our Speaker in making this a reality. I also want to thank my committee on ICT who have overseen this activity. And I want to say that today, this is a jewel on our crown, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to also say that we have seen, we have made tremendous strides in making our county digitized and automated. We have the hospital management system that has seen us, our hospital, become very efficient, Honorable Governor. Honorable Speaker, we also have the revenue management system that has made us realize a lot of money, a lot of revenue from thousands to over a billion, Honorable Speaker. And these are gains that have resulted by way because of what we have done in automation. Honorable Speaker, the e-Parliament part is what is portends a very, very good event today. It's a major event that will help members have a lot of capabilities and actually will convenience us in doing our roles, which we have like oversight and everything else. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to say that this is the latest committee on ICT. We were just inaugurated 2 years ago, and we have done, you have enabled us to do this, to make us and to walk this path. And we thank you for that. Thank you, Honorable Governor. Asante sana.
Thank you, Honorable Mirara. Do we have the members of the ICT committee? I request them to rise up. We recognize them, the ICT committee members. Yes. Those are the members, some of the members who are in that committee. Thank you very much. I now request the Deputy Speaker to come forward and make his remarks and invite the Honorable Speaker. Seems like he stepped out. I request now the Honorable Speaker to come and take over the program.
Thank you, Your Excellency, speakers present, honorable members and guests. Is it afternoon? It's good afternoon. It's been a tedious day, but was the signature day. I think we've been looking for this day for a long time. Of course, I want to thank the board. I don't know if the board members are here. I have seen them around, seen them walked out. Oh yeah, Honorable Elizabeth is here. We have discussed this issue of automation for a long time, and it defeats purpose not to have done it. But here we are, and we are happy. Governor, you know, when you come from the private sector and you get into government, some of the things are not easy. What do you think that moves cannot move? When you want a paper, by the time it gets to you, it's a different paper from its origin. When you approve something, by the time it gets to the finance department, it's something else. And that is why we chose very, very critically to make sure that at least we have the Tendekeza as quickly as possible. So that then all approvals for meetings or numbers, everything can be, done straight away. My colleague speakers here would tell you that it will take you time to come to the office so that you can just approve a meeting. Right now, from wherever you are, from your iPad, from your phone, you're able to approve it. You're able to have time to go through those documents. So sometimes files will come on your desk and you'll think they have moved the archives to your table. You will not have adequate time to go through and peruse it. See, the work of a speaker is more administrative, it's less political. So you have to check on those files, critically. You have to have those members of a certain committee and know how many they are and what are the allowances, how many days they have gone out, what is it. It will take time. But with a system like the Tendekeza, it's automatic. If you are a member of a certain committee and you are sneaked in, it will not accept. If you have been into another meeting and you want to be sneaked into another, you cannot have double meetings. So that used to happen when you are in a manual system. Right now, there is nothing, Governor, that can generate an LPU without having gone through the process. Earlier on, an LPU could just be generated, just a few. Right now, after the final approval, directly goes to the Director of Finance Department, and they are able to do it. So efficiently, we have seen a change, and to us, it's a signature day. The issue of e-assembly, Governor, every time I sat on that seat and members debated, the first thing they said, where are the reports? Wanted to find out that the reports are under their desks, and it's a huge file. They could not read it at the right time. So the e-assembly now helps us to prepare members, so that by the time they come to the assembly, they know, they're informed of the debate, and they can make adequate and proper points on those issues. So I'm so happy today. I think I also want to thank you for making time to come. Didn't know it would keep you that long, but indulge us a little bit. It's our day. Before I proceed, I have colleague speakers. I want to first of all thank them for making time to come here. I'll request that they come and say something so that we can move on. I have speaker all the way from Bungoma. He came in here to be with us in this celebration. Please, Honorable Situma, please come and say something. Don't you worry about the cold in Central Kenya. We live like this.
Thank you, our Governor, Dr. Kanga'ta Irungu, our Deputy Governor, our Speaker from Embu, Sole Kenyatta, and my host speaker, honorable members present here, our CEC's chief officers, and the public. Good afternoon. I came with my 200 members here, allow them to say their name. Politicians. They eat from talking. And the leadership, they have leadership in the assembly, then they come and say their names already. And I'm doing my secret term, and I came in 2017. I came when they were my voters. That's still my voters in the near future. Honorable Deputy Leader Majority, just come and say your name in our Vice Chair of the Health Committee, just come and say your names. You are politicians, even here you are politicians.
Thank you, the Governor of Muranga, all those who are here, my fellow honorable members. My name is Honorable Jerusa Aloysius Sikuku, representing my good people of Milima Ward. Milima Ward is found in Tongaren constituency. If you have heard the person called Yesua Tongareni is my voter. And I'm also the Vice Chairperson of the Health Committee. Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency the Governor, speakers, my fellow honorable members. Good afternoon. My name is Joan, representing a ward called Kapate in Mongelo. We have another mountain there. And also in the county assembly, I'm the deputy majority leader. So we have come and our speaker to attend this great function. And I have appreciated the system that it is going to ease our work and make us to form our core mandate in an effective way. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Kiro. In our assembly of Bungoma, we shared our slots very closely. If the chair is a man, the vice chair is a lady. If the chair is a lady, the vice chair is a man. All along, except the one for the speaker and deputy speaker. The ladies who are available are willing to become chairs of committees, so are willing to become the speaker. So let me take this chance and say thank you very much, Muranga, for inviting me. I came purposely because, number one, last year I was hosting games in Bungoma. All the way people from Muranga came in large numbers, and I remember receiving a team of Muranga in the evening hours in a bus, and asked me that if they don't have accommodation, I was looking for one for them in Bungoma. And when the speaker came, I took him around, and I told him if you like, even sampling the lifestyle in Kampala. And I told him to my PA, see how Uganda looks like. So I came back to say thank you for coming, for taking part in games from Bungoma. Number one. Number two, when I heard of e-parliament, I felt like I should come and see what are you going to do that is new, that I'm having in Bungoma, that is missing, that you are having here. And from what I've learned, you know, when you bring such a systems, those have challenges. In the second assembly of the speaker, what he has just spoken about was someone signing committees, 5 books simultaneously, and there is all those meetings. So what we are trying to do in order to try to is prudent use of resources of the counties. We are given managers, the board members, one of the board here. We are managers of people's resources. So you see us being strict. We are not being over strict in a given way. We are very accountable to what given us by the treasury. So what I've learned in the near future, when I come back to my team, what I've so far seen of people having papers reading will be history. In Bungoma, we never read these papers in our houses. We only share our reports and our order paper on our gadgets. We only have one report or 2 reports at most. The one the speaker having a hard copy and the soft copy, and the movers report only. The rest are all on gadgets. In the near future, I'm finishing the chamber putting up, you saw it, I'm putting up a chamber of 100 people, 100 MCAs. Currently, I'm being at 63, and chances are that I'm going to have more MCA coming in, I'm running with that term of the speaker. I'm going to go up soon, I'm still going to be there again. So, I'll be running around for the third term, hope to having more MCAs. So, it's a good thing, but it has challenges. So, honorable MCAs, when you see clerk and the speaker saying that you are in Mombasa, you are not in Nairobi, don't say something bad. Don't say it. What challenges you are having? I remember when I went to the assembly the first time, you could see people signing for 32 meetings, only attending 5 meetings. It used to happen. For the members who are having the assembly, 25 are elected out of 45. So I know what I'm talking about. People used to have those shortcuts and there was misuse of resources. We are the custodian of the resources. The government must spend prudently for the welfare of the honorable members, staff, and the rest of our countrymen. As I finish, a honorable speaker, the government are very happy with becoming around. We've seen what we are doing in Muranga. And you don't have to go to Dubai to learn. Even here in Muranga, you can learn something, take back home. The young man said that he just comes back. We have one Dongarende, so be very careful. But he may come soon than you may be expecting. With those 2 remarks, thank you very much. I'm very happy. The only problem I've complained and I'm still complaining the whole of this area. We are ready with these temperatures of this. It's very enough for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable Muteti, please come briefly so that we can attend to other matters. This gentleman from Kirinyaga is called Muteti Muremi, the politician farmer.
Your Excellency the Governor, the Deputy Governor, the speakers, members of the County Assembly, na marafiki wa Muranga, good afternoon. Also, before I speak, I was accompanied by 2 of my colleagues. I don't know, one got lost along the way, the majority leader, then Midimas and Muranga, then there is Honorable Isaiah Bobo. I saw him in the public car. He's the youngest in my bunge and also the most aggressive character.
Your Excellency the Governor, speakers, my fellow colleagues from Muranga County, Barizin. My name is Dr. Bobo Isaiah. I'm a friend to Muranga County. It's a place I love, it's a place we learn from. It's a pleasure to be here today for this launch. It's a great thing we've learned. And as I was sitting there, I was talking to my speaker and telling him we need to replicate this as fast as is humanly possible. And thank you, Governor Kanga'ta. You're such an inspiration. And I believe to your MCAs, you're a great leader, the speaker, Muranga County, for chaperoning this assembly to get Muranga to the heights that you people dream for the people of Muranga. Otherwise, thank you so much even for having us here. It's a great pleasure. And to my colleagues from Muranga County, MCAs, Kazi Safi, Mshikilia hapo. Thank you so much. God bless.
I have to call him so that when we give that proposal, it's not the first person objective. So, Honorable Speaker and His Excellency Governor, mine is to congratulate you. This is a very, very good milestone. We've been trying to implement this initiative in our county assembly, but because of a lot of politics, we've not been able to. But this is a take home, and I'm very sure that we'll be coming here with my board to benchmark and make sure that we also enhance service delivery to the people of Kirinyaga. I'm very grateful and happy the way you are working together with His Excellency. It would not be possible if the Assembly and the Executive is not working together. Basically from the process of passing the CIDP, the budgetary allocation, and of course even the political goodwill to have this system implemented. So, Mukuha, Your Excellency, congratulations. I think Muranga is a model county when it comes to prudent management of resources, and basically even demonstrating what devolution can do. We were having a chat with His Excellency, and I was asking him, do you actually normally get more allocation than other counties? Because when I look at Muranga, every other time we are benchmarking on smart city, we are benchmarking on Kanga'ta Care, we are benchmarking on now revenue management system, and congratulations. I saw last year you achieved a 1 billion mark on revenue, on source revenue. So there is so much to learn from Muranga County, and I will tell you to keep it up. This is why we are elected to do, and we have to give value for money, value for the resources that are allocated to us to make sure that we are able to improve life of our people. So I'm happy today. I'm in Muranga for a good reason. The last time I was here, Mr. Mukuha set me up during a certain bar. He told me to read a speech. And it never went well. Like this one. Yeah? And because we are our brothers and sisters. So when I was invited, I told the speaker, I hope you are not setting me up. Yeah? So I'm very good to be here. And I wish you well as you continue serving the good people of Muranga. Otherwise, niwapee salamu za Excellency the Governor. I thought I was supposed to be here. Akaniambia nini you are in Ross. So I passed her regard and congratulations for this great initiative. Asanteni sana.
I think, before I call in the Governor, let me appreciate the leadership of the Assembly. I think we have the whip. Please allow us to begin with hope. Thank you for good leadership. We have Deputy Whip. Of course, the leader of majority was here, and the other members of the County Assembly. My heroes, please stand wherever you are. Members of the County Assembly of the appreciate this good people. Good. Also, as I was looking around, I saw the author of Tendekeza, James Wabongo, is here. Oh, very well. Clap for this man. He's the author of Tendekeza system that is working here. It's now my humble pleasure to invite the Governor. May I ask that we be upstanding? We allow the Governor to address us. Your Excellency, the Governor.
Thank you. The Honorable Speaker of the County Assembly of Muranga, and the other two other speakers, my father all the way from Mukuha, also my brother all the way from Kirinyaga, the deputy, the honorable speakers, and also my colleague in the executive. Before I speak, let me call my deputy.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Governor, the Speaker, and the visiting speakers, honorable members, good afternoon. Good afternoon once again. Mine is to congratulate the Assembly for work well done, and especially taking a step into digitization. We are looking into a county that is well integrated. The county executive has also been working really hard towards digitization. Hata sisi tuko na ile inaitwa e-cabinet, and we are also working on a system that tracks bills and also regulations from the departments, so that the county assembly and the committees can be well informed and we can join in the collaborative effort. My only challenge to the Speaker and also to this House is to look at your system and see which part of your system can be public facing, so that the community and the people of Muranga can better interact with members, can better interact with the Assembly, so that we can offer better services to our people. Otherwise, God bless you and take care.
We have a new county commissioner active. We can come and say something. We have your colleagues.
The Speaker, the other speakers from Mukuha, Kirinyaga, deputy speakers, waheshimiwa wote, and all protocols of service. Good afternoon. My name is Council already. He's the acting county commissioner. Our county commissioner has just been promoted from a regional commissioner to a regional commissioner Niri. So we are here with the rest of the committee members. We have our secretary from that end. We have our EP commander, Jerry, Mr. Maratinoro, of the county police commander, and Kimwai. Otherwise, as a security team is to thank you most sincerely for the effort you have planned to bring our county these standards. And our governor, you have done very well. Other counties are engaging on what we are doing, the connection. We are just beginning on this. Another is my own friend. I was here a long time ago, 16 years back. I was here as a PO in this county, in this sub-county Muranga East. Now I'm coming as a PO at the DCC. Otherwise, have a nice day.
Yeah, first, since Mr. Speaker, I have never had such kind of an opportunity. Let me thank God for enabling my PA to now transit to become a Mheshimiwa, Mr. Bro. We are very happy, and I think in Bogo, I think the saying that hard work pays and patience pays, because you all know where he has come from and is now a honorable Mheshimiwa. Secondly, Muranga County Executive really respects and appreciates the role of the county assembly. Almost all our programs have been hinged through policies and laws that have been passed by this honorable assembly. Many would have opted to roll out those programs without a legal framework, but us we thought the opposite, because we appreciated the key role of an assembly. When we come here, we negotiate. You amend, you vary our proposals, but we believe that's what you are doing is your role, and we really appreciate your work. This, I would dare say, this can be described as one of the busiest county assembly Muranga has had. Based on how many policies you have passed, the bills you have passed, clearly you have been having a lot of business transacted. It is on that basis, therefore, we were happy when we had you want to donate your assistance, and we are very, very appreciative. And maybe just for the record, I can give an example of one business just the other day you processed. You passed what we call a budget that had a line of sports. Many would have just gone on to expend that money without a policy framework. But we said no. To ensure the funds are better utilized, we came up with a law and you guys passed it. And were it not for that, probably Muranga would not be having games, which for the last 1 or 2 months have been happening all over Muranga, creating opportunities for more than 20,000 young people. Funds almost 70,000. So a whole ecosystem of 100,000 based on your decision to come here, transact, create a sports bill that enabled us to have a legal and clear framework to utilize the money of sports. So therefore, congratulations. It is on that basis, therefore, your efficiency is very important. Today, what you have done is historic. You have created an e-parliament. That then means the businesses that the county government will be taking to the assembly will be done in a more faster way. Whether motions, whether bills, whether policies, we now know maybe it will take a shorter period because, let's say, for example, you are at your home or handling constituency matters, You'll be able now to know what business is there. You transact, you come, you attend, you are notified, and therefore we suspect faster processing of county business. Mr. Speaker, definitely you have some outstanding work of the county executive. We are looking forward for the executive to pass, particularly to important businesses. One is the county amenity ward policy. Almost everyone here has a private card of medical insurance. But when you get sick, most likely you go to Bika or Nairobi. That is capital exported elsewhere. We are thinking we create an amenity ward in our institutions so that when you get sick, you are treated here, your money remains here to help us buy medicine to happen. But you can't move without your policy endorsement. The same also applies to the other one called local policy. The idea is when people get, okay, at times there can be an emergency which then demands our hospitals to employ medical professionals on a temporary basis because of a surge in medical services demand. And therefore, we want your endorsement to consider that so that we create a window for that. We suspect maybe, Mr. Speaker, now that you have an e-parliament too, the business will now be processed in a more faster way. Of course, we're not saying you have not been fast, no, you have been very fast, but definitely we believe that with this system, things can only get better. On automation generally, many systems have been introduced in Muranga County, whether revenue, whether hospital, whether our meetings there. Now these days they're automated, the minutes keep taking, facility improvement fund for the hospitals, their procurement. They no longer do it manually, it was also automated. Our motor vehicle tracking system, we used to expend almost 5 million per month on fuel. After automation, that amount went to almost 2 million, it went down. And we increased the number of accidents. We used to have a lot of accidents, even instances where people have perished. I think since we automated, the number of accidents went down. And therefore, automation creates efficiency. It is the way for the future. We are glad because of that and your support that we have gotten from the committee headed by Honorable Muranga County next week during the Evolution Conference has been pinpointed by Council of Governors to come and illustrate our systems to the other counties. And your support would not have been given that opportunity were it not for your good work. And therefore, we are humbled by your support. But allow me to finish by highlighting problems of automation, because they are there. Number one problem is internet. You'll be finding once in a blue moon the internet is down. So you might be compelled to create what we call redundancy mechanisms. Also, you might be also being compelled to ensure internet provider is not one. These days we have a satellite internet provider. Maybe that needs to become like an option too, so that when your main internet provider goes down, you switch to the number two. The second problem you find with technology is power. Power at times becoming very unstable. And you know, this is something that requires power to be up and running. And therefore, you can hear it is down. So for me, that's evidence that any technology has that problem of getting shut down. On that score of power, it might help that you consider solarization project. So that when the national grid is down, then you have a solar. We have seen that working on dispensaries where we solarized 75 dispensaries, and we thank you, honorable members, because you're the one who pinpointed which ones needs to get priority. We have now moved that number to about 90 or thereabouts. We hope this financial year we do another more, so that we move towards ensuring all our medical facilities are fully solarized. Number 3 problem we might find based on our experience up there, hacking. There are people who will make an attempt to hack your systems. Among the several systems that we have up there is one that came under attack, the land systems. And our servers are hosted in Germany. And therefore, we have reported to the Interpol. Of course, we were able to retrieve those documents, but we have to follow the thief. So we had to report to the Interpol. It's a matter under investigations. We might even send an officer to Germany, because whoever hosted in Germany can easily move to penetrate. But besides that, ways to mitigate against hacking are to one, putting them in the clouds. That minimizes them. We also have blockchain technology, where basically you are storing information among so many servers. Meaning, if you want to break, you have to break all those servers where they are installed. Finally, you need to do what is called penetration tests. You get ethical hackers. They make attempts into your systems, then they tell you this is where they're finding problems. And then, if they do that, or once they do that, then you are able to remedy your weaknesses. That's what we have been doing. We did that, I think, about 2 months ago. And we also, this budget, we also do another penetration test in our systems. I know the universities can even help us, because they have young IT people who can do that hacking, and they can help us improve our systems. For me, that's an important point. Otherwise, you may find majority leader has written a letter to resign as an MC in Europe. Or there's a motion to remove, I don't know who. And your signature is there. And you have no way to prove you're not the one. So it helps to ensure the systems are good. So allow me to reach there and say thank you and congratulations. Asante.
Thank you, Excellency. I think we have a session outside here where you unveil the whole system. Thank you. We can proceed outside.
you.